Hey there people, it's your favorite Valentine, WeedleTwineedle here, bringing you all a Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl Wi-Fi Battle video, and as you can tell from the title thumbnail, we are doing a Valentine's theme team video. I know this video is going to get a Valentine-y amount of views because unfortunately, no one gives a crap about them.
Let me pretend I care.
It's just a true.
Okay,
you know what
I'm
saying?
done.
So they always seem to perform bad with the YouTube algorithm, so if you guys want to be a sweetheart and help, make sure to leave a like on the video, share the video with a friend, watch until the end of the video. All of that really helps out the channel tremendously, especially during this day and age where competitive Pokemon's it's taking a bit of a backseat while Legends of Arceus is just kind of thriving. So we're sort of sitting here in BDSP. I could play Sword and Shield, but Luvdisc isn't in Sword and Shield. And unfortunately, all the BDSP player base has moved on to Legends Arceus. Now I made this theme team 2 days ago, and I figured 2 days would be plenty of time to, find an opponent, meme around a bit, and then, get this video out there.
No.
I could not find any opponents. Like, I legitimately sat in this room for hours. Like, an hour on the 12th, hour on the 13th, found nobody. Maybe it's because I'm stuck in 2021 while, everyone else is playing Legends Arceus in 2022. I knew if I used this team on Valentine's Day, I would find an opponent using the link code. But we need some sort of new code or the stadium to get updated or something. Please save BDSP. I know it's not the greatest title, but it's a cute entry and I just have Gen 4 nostalgia and I'm just down bad. That's why I'm making this Valentine's Day video. But finally, someone shows up and I'm like, yes.
No, I am going.
And then they leave and I'm like, please. But then someone else shows up. I'm like, konnichiwa, yes, let's battle, bestie. And then we finally find a game. So my opponent here made my Valentine's Day by actually showing up and giving me a battle. So my Valentine today is this Japanese opponent. I can barely speak English, forgive me y'all. I can't speak, I'm not a bilingual expertise, unfortunately. But yes, we are here with the Valentine's theme team. So my opponent's team is pretty scary for me to deal with, mainly because they have Gastrodon, and considering I have 3 water types, that's not the best matchup for me. They also have Tyranitar, so it was like my opponent's team was made to fight my... But I don't know what, I'm just happy I found an opponent. So without further ado, let's get into this battle. So my opponent's going to decide to lead off with their Latios and their Hitmontop, trying to get some offensive pressure as soon as possible. Latios is just overall really good into my team, and just most teams in general. I decided to lead off with my Politoed and my Togekiss. Now, I have Politoed on this team because I needed something to set up the rain for, Luvdisc and Gorbis and stuff like that. So even though, Politoed might not be Valentine's themed, I think it works good enough, okay? So I'm going to go for Protect turn 1 with my Politoed, and I'm going to go for Protect with my Kissables because I don't want to get Fake Out into Nuke from Latios. So I just want to scout out what my opponent wants to do. They do go for the Fake Out. Just want to play this turn 1 as safe as possible, and they go for Psychic into the Togekiss slot. I know the opponent's probably going to target and Togekiss again, but I just want to go for the Follow Me just to be on the safe side because you never know, and they forced to go for Psychic into the Togekiss slot as it does around half. That is a Life Orb Latios. Fairy types are supposed to counter dragons, by the way. I'm going to go for the Belly Drum with my Politoed because I am a Belly Drum Politoed. From the construction of my team, I wanted to make it seem like I'm a supportive Politoed, like how Politoads normally run. However, I wanted to try out Belly Drum Politoed because I haven't used it since Gen 7 because it used to have Z Hypnosis to give it a speed boost, but I want to see how it did Gen 4 BDSP metagame sort of thing. So we get off the Belly Drum, and I'm going to switch out my Togekiss here, and I'm going to bring out my Sweet Love, my Luvdisc, and I'm going to actually go for the Protect once again with my Politoed. I just wanted to position myself so I can get Luvdisc and Politoed on the field at the same time. Thankfully, the opponent just goes for the Psychic, or not the Psychic, the Surf rather. They were predicting Follow Me, and they hit their own Hitmontop, which is kind of funny. I didn't expect the Surf at all, but it kind of makes sense because they do have a Gastrodon on their team, so I shouldn't be too surprised that they do have Surf on their Latios. So they do Friendly Fire, but it doesn't really matter too much because Hitmontop takes it because it's Hitmontop, and Close Combat's gonna hit my Protect. Now my opponent's gonna swap out of the Hitmontop for some reason, and they're gonna bring out their Scizor. So they're gonna bring out their Booger Scizor because everyone loves Shiny Scizor. I don't know what it is. And now I'm going to go for the Entrainment into my Politoed. Now this is really good for me because I'm going to give my Politoed Swift Swim, and thanks to Dynamic Speed, I'm going to outspeed the Latios with the Swift Swim ability and knock out the big threat. So down goes Latios. I'm really glad I got to showcase the Entrainment Luvdisc. I mean, that's only one of the many techs this Luvdisc has. So in comes the Tyranitar, and I was sort of surprised they didn't bring a Tyranitar into the Scizor slot, but I guess they didn't want to like switch into a water move, which is fair. I'm sort of surprised they didn't bring Gastrodon in this game. I really thought it was coming, but you know, it didn't come, surprisingly. But now I'm going to bring in my Togekiss, as my opponent's going to go for the Bullet Punch into my Politoed, but we're able to survive because we are, you know, water type. And the Tyranitar is unfortunately faster than my Politoed because I am Adamant Nature as opposed to Jolly, and it's able to hit me with the Rock Slide, so that's really bad. And because, you know, there's sand instead of rain, you know, it's going to outspeed me. But thankfully we don't get flinched by the Rock Slide, and now a +6 Earthquake will be able to knock out Tyranitar and weaken Scizor to the point where, you know, I'm not feeling as scared of it. So down goes Tyranitar, and, you know, we're going to get hit by sand. Unfortunately, we are in range of Bullet Punch, so that's pretty bad for me. But now in comes the Hitmontop, and I'm going to send in my last, which is my Tuxedo Mask, my Roserade, which I pretty much only brought for the Gastrodon because Gastrodon is just that big of a problem for my team. But hopefully my Roserade can help me clean up this game because Roserade's a decent offensive threat. I'm going to go for Protect, which was really dumb in hindsight because I was going to die to sand anyway, but my opponent has Faint, which is really cool to see because Faint's like a really underrated move. They're going to knock out my Politoed, unfortunately, and now the Scizor's going to go for the Bullet Punch into my Roserade and do a bunch of damage, around half, and now I'm going to go for the Leaf Storm into the into the Hitmontop and knock it out. I probably could have knocked it out with the Giga Drain, but I just wanted to be sure it died, so I'm able to knock it out with Leaf Storm. And now I actually have Giga Drain and Leaf Storm and no Sludge Bomb. Now I'm going to bring in my Sweet Love. Also, Valentines aren't toxic, so we don't have any poison moves. Now my opponent's going to go for Bullet Punch. They're going to knock out my Tuxedo Mask, and unfortunately Luvdisc is by itself, so it's mostly a support, but I do have one offensive move, and Brine, and because Scizor's at under half HP, it's 130 base power. We're able to knock out the Scizor and barely scrape a win. And it's all thanks to Luvdisc. I know Politoed did most of the heavy lifting, but not only did Luvdisc give Politoed the speed it needed to knock out Latios, but it also got the last kill against the ugly booger Scizor. So Luvdisc low-key the MVP. But thankfully my opponent actually wanted to run it back because if I lost to a Luvdisc 2, I want a rematch and get my revenge immediately. So my opponent's adjustment, they lead off with their Hitmontop and Scizor this time around because I guess Togekiss was really annoying, so I just wanted to make sure Togekiss couldn't do anything with their Scizor. I'm going to lead off with my Medicham and my Gorbis because I wanted to show off the other strategies I have on this Valentine's theme team, right? So I lead off with my Gorbis. We get Intimidated, which kind of sucks because we are White Herb on our Gorbis, so that's going to get consumed immediately. I'm going to go for Fake Out into the Hitmontop as it's not going to be able to go for Fake Out itself because we flinched it, and I'm going to go for the Shell Smash, knowing that Scizor most likely can't one-shot my Gorbis unless it like crits me or something, or after it gets a Sword Stance. So I'm gonna go for the Shell Smash here. We're gonna smash, and we do have Baton Pass as well on this Gorbis, but unfortunately I don't really use it in this video, but it's okay. Shell Smash Baton Pass is pretty boring anyway. But my opponent's gonna go for Sword Stance, and now I'm gonna protect my Gorbis because I wanted to showcase the strat. So I go for Protect, and I go for Acupressure. And Acupressure goes through Protect, and we're going to give Gorbis an Evasion boost? Zam! So we're breaking Evasion Claws. That's just, I thought that was funny because I wanted like Defense or Special Attack or Special Defense, but no, we got Evasion, and I'm like, oh, I thought they got rid of that with Acupressure, but that's actually Moody they got rid of that Evasion and Accuracy boost with. Not... Unfortunately not with Acupressure. So, you know, the Evasion could come in clutch though, because we can dodge an attack from the Scizor. So that's what I'm kind of banking on here. I'm like, it was fate that I got Evasion. I'm going to dodge every attack. So I go for Fling my Kingswag into the Hitmontop, which is going to force it to flinch. Unfortunately, Scizor connects the X-Scissor and knocks me out. And Surf couldn't quite knock out either of the Pokemon because we don't have a Life Orb to back up our damage with the Gorbis. So unfortunately, Adore Me is gonna go down without doing too much. But I'm glad I got to showcase Acupressure at the very least, and the fact that it goes through Protect. So now my opponent's just going to Bullet Punch into my Medicham, but because we are somewhat bulky, we're able to live. And now I'm going to go for the Acupressure into my Politoed. and I didn't want to go for Protect because the opponent has Faint. Also because like I want to attack here because I'm pretty far behind, so I'm gonna go for the Earthquake here. I went for Earthquake, just, you know, do some spread damage, and on the off chance they brought out their Gastrodon, and I wanted to showcase the Telepathy combo again. So yeah, Telepathy Medicham being a support for, you know, AoE attackers is pretty fun. It's not the greatest support, of course. It puts on a lot of offensive pressure just from its presence alone, and the fact that it can be so supportive with Fake Out and you know, Flame King's Rock is really nice. It's really, really nice. So now my opponent's going to bring out their Latios, and I'm like, this is a problem because Latios, once again, can click buttons for free and knock out everything. And now my opponent's going to bring out the Gastrodon as well. And it's actually, like, in English, their only Pokemon that has, like, an English name. And I was, like, looking at all the names, and I'm like, oh god, please don't be Gastrodon. Phew. And then the Pokemon that actually is Gastrodon is just spelled out for me. So there's not even, like, tension. It's just, like, right there. So I just thought that was funny. Out of all the Pokemon that, you know, weren't in Japanese, it was the Gastrodon. Which, I don't know, I thought that was a funny coinky-dink. Or, I don't know. So anyway, I'm in a pretty bad spot. My opponent's gonna go for Psychic. They're going to get a special defense drop into my Togekiss, which really sucks. And, yeah, I'm gonna go for Earthquake because I can't go for a water move in front of a Gastrodon. And Earthquake's gonna do negligible damage to the Gastrodon, of course, but I can't really do much else. Like I mentioned, my team is really weak to this Gastrodon, and I didn't bring Roserade in this battle, so big mistake on my part. We're going to get a crit with a Dazzling Gleam into the Gastrodon, but unfortunately we don't get it into Latios, and Ice Beam is going to knock me out. I am Scope Lens with the Super Luck, so it is a 50% chance to crit both targets, so it's not even necessarily hacks. It's kind of like hacks if you don't get it. It's a 50-50. So like if you get crits from Togekiss, like think about it. I know they like to run Serene Grace Air Slash, but sometimes we like to run Super Luck, okay? Anyway, my opponent's going to go for Surf with the Latios and give their Gastrodon Storm Drain. They're like, look at my combo. Your Acupressure combo is nothing compared to my Surf Storm Drain super original, never before seen combo. I'm just joking, by the way. Like, I think it's cool that, like, people, I don't know, I think Storm Drain Surf is fun too. Like, I made a whole video on Surfshark, so I can't say shit. Anyway, Earth Power is going to knock out my People Heart, and we're going to lose the second battle against my opponent's team. And I'm like, okay, you got the run back, but best of 3 me. Best of 3, you better not leave. If you leave, I'm going to cry. And as you can tell from the length of the video, they don't leave. So let's get into the final battle. The third game of the best of 3 set. My opponent's going to lead off with the Scizor and hit my top once again because it worked out so well for them last time. This time around, I decide to lead off with Breasty and my Tuxedo Mask. So hey, Breasty and Tuxedo Mask going to come out. The Intimidate doesn't really matter against my Medicham because of the fact that we are support, so that's really nice. And yeah, we're just going to exchange Fake Outs. I'm going to Fake Out the Hitmontop because I don't want to Fake Out my Roserade, and I'm going to go for the Sleep Powder, thankfully connect into the Scizor and put the Booger Scizor to sleep. So I can't go for Sword Stance immediately and, you know, Bullet Punch and one-shot my whole team, which is nice. So now I'm actually going to switch out my Breasty because it doesn't really put on much offensive pressure by itself. Unfortunately, supportive Medicham is about as useful as, like, the Gengar, or not the Gengar, the Haunter you get when you trade with Mindy. Like, this Medicham is probably better off traded to Mindy to get the Eviolite Haunter when it's just by itself, which is just unfortunate. But I really wanted to try out the, the supportive Medicham, okay? So we're gonna go for Sleep Powder as my opponent's gonna bring in their Tyranitar, which sort of surprised me considering they're in front of Roserade and Medicham, but you know what? It makes sense because they do carry the Lumberry, so they're able to shake off the Sleep Powder, and Scizor's gonna stay asleep, thankfully. And now I'm like, okay, Sweet Love, it's time to show the world that you're actually a useful Pokemon. It's time to showcase why you're awesome. So I'm gonna go for Soak into Tyranitar. I probably should have done this into Scizor in hindsight, but I wanted to get rid of the sand boost you get from being rock type. So we're able to change it into a water type, Giga Drain, and one-shot the Tyranitar, which is really, really nice. Down goes Tyranitar, and now the Scizor is going to finally wake up here, and they're gonna go for the Sword Stance. What a shocker. So we're gonna go for Sword Stance, and this is pretty bad because Bullet Punch will definitely knock out my Roserade, and if my opponent does carry Gastrodon in the back, I'm doomed. So, yeah, that's really terrifying if they have Gastrodon and I lose my Tuxedo Mask, I just lose the game. But now my opponent's going to bring back out the Hitmontop to go for more Fake Outs and stuff like that. However, I think the opponent might read into my Protect on the Roserade because I've just been going for it, like, so much. Like, I've been spamming Protect more than I've, like, ever used Protect in VGC before, to be honest. So, I'm going to actually switch out my Roserade and sack off my Breasty, expecting my opponent to potentially go for Faint It was just basically to cover for feint, and thankfully I did that because they do go for feint, which would have went through my protect, and bullet punch would have knocked out my Roserade before I could have went for soak into the scissor. But you're able to, unfortunately, bullet punch is going to knock out my Medicham, and now I'm going to soak into the scissor and give it the water typing, or make it water typing. So now I can knock it out with the grass type move, but that +2 bullet punch is still looking to knock out my Roserade, because bullet punch from neutral scissor did half to Roserade, so a +2 bullet punch is definitely going to knock me out, so I'm still not in the best spot. So in comes the +2 bullet punch, but because scissor doesn't have stab on it anymore, we're able to live. I'm going to go for the heal pulse as well into my Roserade, so we're able to get more HP back, and now I can go for the Giga Drain into the scissor, and because I am Life Orb, you know, stab, Giga Drain, we're able to, you know, knock out the scissor from near full HP, and, you know, down goes the scissor. It was near full HP, but it actually got chipped down from the sand because it lost the steel typing, which I thought was pretty amusing from Soak. And now close combat, unfortunately, Sweet Love is gonna go down, but I don't know what, Luvdisc is the MVP of this video. I don't even care what y'all have to say. The second battle I lost because I didn't bring Luvdisc. Like, I should have known that, like, with the Valentine's theme team, everything's gonna fall apart if I don't bring Luvdisc, right? Like, that's the whole reason why, like, Luvdisc invented Valentine's Day. Like, it's true, it's true. But now my opponent's gonna bring out the Latios, and Latios is still a big threat. You know, I say that every time, you know, I look at Latios, like, nobody, WeedleTwineedle, Latios, big threat. Anyway, my opponent's gonna reveal the wide guard, which was a really, like, wow, this really caught me off guard because this is game 3 and they finally revealed wide guard. And, you know, I go for Dazzling Gleam and they're able to block it. Thankfully, I decided to go for Protect with my Roserade, but yeah, they went for wide guard there, which was pretty surprising. And now I go for double Protect. I actually pull it off because, you know, Valentine's Day plot armor and wide guard, they actually pull off the double wide guard, but wide guard's unlike Protect, where you can actually use it in succession without the chance of it failing, in case you guys didn't know that. That's how wide guard and quick guard work. And now I'm going to go for the Air Slash just because I need to bypass the wide guard. We're able to knock out the Hitmontop. I don't think the crit matters because I'm like max special attack and I was at -1 special defense, so even though Hitmontop's really bulky, I don't think that mattered. And now at this point, the opponent, all they have left is Latios, and I can just win with the Dazzling Gleam. And they decide to disconnect. So I was kind of disappointed in that. Normally I'm like, haha, salty rage quit, but that was like a really good set. And the fact that they just like couldn't take the loss, like, come on now. You know what? That was still a good set. So good game to my opponent. I'm still grateful that they gave me the best of 3 set, regardless of the rage quit at the end. It was a really good set for what it was worth, and I hope you guys enjoyed the Valentine's theme team. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, comment. It really helps out the channel. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching till the end of the video. I love you all very, very much. And I'll check you guys in my next video. Mwah!
It's a butt. Ball sack. Pass.